Welcome to VNEW Voices, a podcast where we dive into groundbreaking conversation in women's health and beyond. I'm your host, Robert Greer, and today we are on location at the 2025 Super Patch Conference in beautiful Orlando, Florida. This event has been an absolute game changer filled with innovation, inspiration, and incredible minds pushing the boundaries of health and wellness. Today, I am joined by extraordinary guests who are leading the charge. First, we have Dr. Anna Toker, world-renowned colorectal surgeon, pioneering the field of quantum biology and vibrational medicine. Alongside her, we have Mark McDonald, celebrity nutritionist, inventor of Zive 7, and the creator of the 1% rule.
Yeah.
So,
okay, done.
Before we dive into this conversation, there's going to be 3 takeaways. Your body is electric. Dr. Toker is going to explain how the vibrations, light, and sound influence healing and cellular communication. Small changes lead to big results. And that's going to be coming from Mark. And he's going to share how the 1% rule on optimizing gut health can transform your well-being. And then you guys are going to both talk about some innovation in healthcare. Together, they're going to explain how tools like quantum, EEG, and Super Patch are revolutionizing how we approach wellness. And of course, today's episode brought to us by Zive 7, supporting your digestive health so you can thrive, and our friends at Super Patch, wearable technology that's improving balance, sleep, and overall well-being. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to VNEW Voices, and share this episode with someone who you care about their health as much as you do.
Absolutely.
Now, let's dive in.
Sure.
Dr. Toker,
Yes, sir.
incredible talk today.
Oh, thank you.
She crushed it, by the way.
I didn't get any sleep last night.
But you crushed it.
Just
She
on this one.
crushed today.
So
55 minutes. I mean, I
we were talking about
I'm from the South. I can yammer. You just don't even know.
Rob thinks he's going to ask all the questions, and then
No.
So I'm going to sneak in a question. It's going to be vibrational medicine and the
Yes.
body's electric system. Can you start by giving our listeners a little bit of sense of what makes this approach so revolutionary?
Well, as I explained today, and y'all didn't get to hear that, but basically the current state of medicine is one of chemistry, biochemistry, right? So the chemicals they put in your food cause your physiology to fail, and the pharmaceutical industry gives you chemistry, basically, to try to improve that. This world of chemistry is not helping. You're a fool to believe that you can alter one chemical reaction in the background of millions and millions of other chemical reactions and not have some form of crossover. Chemicals lead to side effects, right? This is one of the reasons we're getting sicker as the years go on. Humans have not changed in the last 20 years, except the fact that we have been poisoned by basically toxins in our environment. Now, what is unique about Super Patch, there's no chemistry in it. There's no medicine in it. It uses physics to affect our physiology. And there's a unique sort of a neurocoupling event that occurs between sensations in the skin and your brain.
So let's talk, Mark, let's talk about the
Okay.
1% rule. Progress over perfection. I mean, I was all in. And of course, the Zive 7, how it supports your gut health and foundation and your overall well-being. What inspired this approach?
Well, I mean, from a 1%, we all think about all in or not in at all. We go all in, and then we achieve something, and then life pushes back and we fall off. And so this is how we're struggling as a society. So think about this. Imagine improving 1% a day for the next 365 days. Maybe that's walking a little bit more, drinking a little bit more water, using a Super Patch. Doing these particular things, it starts to compound and it builds off of it. And that's exactly what it started. For me, Rob, it started, Anna knows the story. You know, I couldn't speak.
Yep.
When I was 7 years old, I had 2 big challenges. I was a horrible athlete because I had asthma, I couldn't move, and I couldn't form words with my tongue, and no one could understand me, and I couldn't play any sports.
And I had the same issue.
Really?
Yes. When
See,
I heard that story, I was
that's
like,
why we're brothers, man.
I was like, boom.
Boom.
My sister walked me across the street to public school, little Catholic school, so I could go to speech
therapy
every single
Yes.
day.
And now look at you. We're crushing a podcast. You're all over it.
But I'm the same way. It's
But
like
that's
you get
same thing.
yeah.
And you know, those moments it almost broke me because my parents came home and they said, you can't get into second grade. And man, I had 3 friends who could understand me. And I'm all, man, I got to go to second grade. So I'm teary-eyed. I'm all, please. And my dad, he changed my life. He put a big 1% in my room and he said, we're going to do everything to get you there. And it's going to be tough, but you can get there 1% at a time. And it took me 4 years, took me 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, but I got there. And like, I still have a speech challenge. Albupen inhaler came out shortly after. I got a full soccer scholarship. So like, all these things happen. So I think the key is wherever you are with your health, it's about starting where you are and understanding that everything is possible with 1% progress and not focus on perfection. You focus on progress, and that takes to Zive. Like, so Zive 7 is, for me, I'm a blood sugar dude. So like, I teach education, body, mind, lifestyle. But I also understand in these global movements we've launched, we've always had, I would lead the movements, we'd have education, we'd have products that would support it. What I understand is people need easier entry points. Yeah. Lifestyle change is challenging. I want you, at the end of the day, I want you to change your health in a positive way. Right. But I also understand I got to speak to you where you are. Yeah. That's why we love Super Patch, because it's a start from a neurological homeostasis. Yes. But Zive 7, I've had it's been incredible opportunity to help millions of people with digestion. My dad passed away of digestive health. This is our 4th product. And then I called this amazing lady and I said, Anna, look, we had a great 5-in-1. And I said, how do we make the 5-in-1 the best? Yeah. And that's what Zive 7 is. Yes. It's NSF Sport certified.
Fantastic.
It's a full 7 steps of digestion. Mm-hmm. And it really is, when I could say products, it's the greatest product I've had the opportunity to make, to really lean into the solution of overall gut health. And Anna, the education I've learned from you has been incredible. So like, when we think about, products aren't designed to change your life. Products are designed to support what you want to accomplish. So you can't just say, I'm going to use a product and then the rest is history. You still need to do the work.
Yes.
But a product, especially a product like Zive 7 or a Super Patch, can get you in that game with the science behind it to awaken your digestion, to create neurological homeostasis, and now things start to flow, and then you can make these micro shifts, 1%, to transform your health.
So Dr. Toker, you mentioned the piezoelectric signals.
Yes.
All right? Mm-hmm. Explain what those signals are, how they interact with our nervous system, and why they're so important for therapies, like the Super Patch.
About 20 years ago, a group of scientists were investigating, why does acupuncture and acupressure work? Like, how is it that you can stick a needle here and then all of a sudden you have better liver function? It works, and they didn't really know why. So this set people on a mission to figure out what is it about skin sensation, whatnot, that can connect a sense to an action in the brain and then a response somewhere else in the body. So that is Nobel Prize winning research. Piezoelectric just means transmitting a mechanical force into an electric force. Your air conditioner does this as a general rule. A record player is doing this. Anytime you can take a vibration, turn it into an electric signal, and then translate it back to a mechanical signal, or whatever the case may be, that's what we call piezoelectric. And there's a bunch of different...
Your washer has it.
Yeah, your washing machine.
Your washer, that little button that you have, that's actually taken... There's a piezoelectric thin membrane underneath that button.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to even press it. You just have to rub it.
Yeah, and it senses these things, right? So this is it's known physics. It's not really a chemical reaction; it's a physical reaction. And so, what makes Super Patch so unique is that it's using the world of physics to interact with your neurology, as opposed to using medicine. Now, when they discover these piezoelectric channels, they realize, no, wait, that's a great therapeutic target to try to improve something. They're working on medicines, because that's what pharmaceutical industries do. They work on medicines. Now, the inventor of Super Patch, Jay Dollywall, is an engineer. JD.
Great man.
Great man. And so engineers work in the world of math and physics. It's just what they do. And so to him, the answer was physics. Now, what is interesting to me is that in the process of him sort of developing the product, he contacted how many hundreds of neurologists? Neuroscientists.
Yes.
Hundreds of neuroscientists, and they all told him, you're an engineer, go home. You've got nothing to offer. And yet they are starting to publish papers for information that Jay already knows. In the world of research, if you publish something, it becomes the public knowledge, and you can no longer patent something, and you no longer own it as an intellectual property. So it's, you patent something or do you publish something? Now, Super Patch is an intellectual secret, an industry secret. He will not patent it because patents are only good for a number of years.
And
right? And they get stolen. They're not
they
respected.
get stolen.
They get stolen. So he doesn't
You
want.
never know who's behind those little
Yeah,
doors.
buddy. Well, I know.
Yes.
But anyway, the long and short of it is he refuses to patent it because he doesn't want the information stolen. But he cannot publish it, obviously, because this is his intellectual property. So he knows all this information long before these neuroscientists ever figured it out, which is why he will send me papers from time to time just to say, I mean, look at these knuckleheads. They're like years behind the curve. But it's justification for him. It's real science. So I know when you show someone a piece of plastic with no medicine on it, they think, too hokey to be true. Try it on your skin. This is Nobel Prize winning science. And it definitely will connect this tactile sensation from your skin, couples it to the nervous system, transmits a signal along a nerve to your brain. They're very specific. Each one of these patches addresses a different part of the brain. And that part of the brain will return to sort of normal function. The symptom that you are experiencing is because things are out of whack and your brain can't control it. So when the brain goes down to normal, that means it has controlled it. That symptom goes away. So if you have a pain, 80% of your pain is neurologically controlled. It's in your brain. It's not at the source of your pain. So one of these patches has a chance of removing 80% of your pain based on that research. And Super Patch research shows indeed within 2-week period of time, people are using 80% less medicine just by using these patches. Now, some people, it'll be instant, and some people have to wear it for a while. It just kind of depends. And all the technology is sort of in that venue. It may take a couple of weeks, but like the REM patch worked the first time my husband ever tried it. Yeah. First time I ever tried it. It was a miracle. Like, you fall asleep, the phone rings, you can wake up, answer the phone, to the hospital, hang up, and now you're not up all night because you were just called. You can actually close your eyes and go back to sleep, which is a miracle for you.
And you can actually answer the phone.
Oh, totally awake.
You're not at an Ambien where you go, who did
give orders? Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, that's a no-go.
Look
in our space.
It's a no-go in our space. Ambien's verboten. You cannot do it. And the more important thing is, if someone calls with an important thing, like I don't need to drain my blood, give myself dialysis to get rid of a sleeping aid, and then go into the hospital. I pull off a patch, I'm ready to go. It's instant. Yeah. It's sort of like a boost patch if you want to work out at the end of the day and you're freaking exhausted. You don't have to down caffeine and then not go to sleep. Boost patch, work out, boost patch off, REM patch on. Baby, if Elvis had boost and REM patches, we would still have the king. That's all I'm saying. He would still be alive.
We love a little Elvis, don't we?
I love myself some Elvis.
So, on the Elvis note,
we're
going to transition over to Mark to talk a little bit about gut health, because it is such a hot topic right now. Right? It's like everything's about the gut, and I mean, who knew? Well, you knew.
Yeah.
Right.
And
she knew because I saw before Zive 7. See, I was part of this Anna Toker bandwagon, gut health, stabilization. What are your products? She had 7 different things. Right. We went through the whole list.
Yeah.
7 different things.
Yeah,
right. And then you go. I go. Do you have a particular brand of this? She goes. I just try to get them to just combine them all.
Yeah.
Right? And I even said, if you want to have some impact, dig out all those products that you had before Zive 7.
It's a lot.
And just take a picture.
Dude.
And go here to here.
It's like Cheerios and
here
pills.
To here.
Just like
it's like colon blow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right? It's like, how many bowls do you need to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
It's like, So the question I have is that, for someone starting out, what's the easiest first step they can take to improve their gut health?
Yeah, I mean, The easy, like from a point of supplementation or just
The two factors, right?
Yeah.
I know it's probably going to include some Zive 7,
Yeah.
but someone's got to also want to know, like, what am I doing with my diet?
I
What
would
should I do?
I would go back to, I would say mindset first, 1%. Believe that whatever you want to achieve with your health, you can 1% at a time. Second would be education. I'm a blood sugar guy. So for me, you have to, like, when you think about your health and you know that goal, you got to think about your sleep, your food, your exercise, your supplementation, your water, and your stress. Now, that can be a lot for a lot of people. So where do you start? Well, you start with what I would say from a gut health side is why we made Zive 7, so you don't have those 7. You start with 2 capsules, 20 minutes before your first meal in the morning. That's it. You wake up, you take your 2 capsules, 8 ounces of water, and you're good. Now, what else can you do? You drink a little bit more water. You know, this is 32 ounces right here. So how do we habit stack? Well, you get a water bottle, a small one like this, or a big one like this, and you drink a little bit more water. That's going to help. Your digestive system needs water. Then, what else can I do? So, start with Zive, drink a little bit more water, and now let's talk about a little gluten. So gluten, this is what we have to understand right now in 2025. And Dr. Anna's done all this research and she's the one who thought about this, and we're going to kind of share some of this. That gluten uses nitrogen fertilizer, like the crops of wheat. We now know because there's 4 times so much nitrogen fertilizer, there's about 4 times the amount of gluten.
Yes.
When you have gluten in something. Now, what does that mean is there's a hormone discovered in 2000 called zonulin. And imagine a clean tile floor, like beautiful tile, beautiful pristine grout. And when you're kind of anal like me, and you get a little dirt in that or a little pockets in that, it's like, no! Imagine that 2 years, 3 years, that broken up grout. Well, that's what's happening when you have gluten. Zonulin causes holes in your small intestine, causes leaky gut that leads toxins into your bloodstream. So next step, take your Zive, drink more water. Now, how can we start removing the gluten a little bit? The dairy, the inflammatory foods. And then, the last thing, move your body a little bit. You know, we're doing this podcast.
Yes.
Don't sit back in your chair. Sit up.
Yeah.
Tighten your core.
I normally do all mine standing. I know you do yours standing.
Because you activate this. You move your body. So it's getting smarter. You start where you are and you habit stack. But this is, I think, Robert, this is the big thing. Everyone wants to feel like, I'm going to take Zive, I'm going to use Super Patch, and my work's done. Your work is not done.
No.
Your work is just beginning.
Yes.
We speak to you where you are, but you have to be committed to wanting to live your greatest health. You have to know what you're fighting for, the reason behind that. And when you do that, whatever your age, you can redefine your level of health. You can reprogram your body. You can activate your gut health. Because as Dr. Anna clearly says, because she's done like 20,000 colonoscopies, all disease starts in your gut.
Totally.
All disease. And Zive 7 was designed on the 7 steps of digestion because your digestive system is a one-way highway. And how do we optimize it? If you get that going, everything works.
Correct. 100%.
That's great.
I'm a great student of yours.
Oh
aren't
my
I?
God, you've done so
Are
well.
you proud of me?
I am.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I'm gluten-free.
I know, I love that.
Everybody loves success stories.
Yes.
So, anything you want to share? Like any success stories that come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, success stories right here.
Right here.
Lauren, get over here.
Come on.
Get over here.
Get in.
Lauren's 21 years old. She's an incredible story. She's a cancer survivor. She had cancer when she was 9 months old. Her father, she's a daughter to us, but her father passed away when she was 12. Her mother's had a lot of challenges, so Lauren's kind of been solo. She's our family. And she's had, from some of that and other things in her life, she's had gut health issues. Because life hit her hard as well, she needed some additional medication from the point of antidepressants, anxiety meds. And about last year and a half, we said, Lauren, let's get it going. Let's focus on your movement, your food. And Dr. Anna was critical on this with her daughter Maria about like, how do we get your gut health working? Right. So share, like what I can say is she's medication free. She's gluten free. She's dairy free. She's militant now, but it's because how she feels. But you tell us, like tell them the story, like just the last 6 months, how hard it was for you, but how freeing you are right now.
Now, what step did you take first, Lauren?
Yeah.
Like starting from getting off meds
Yes.
and then cleaning up
Yeah.
food.
Yes.
So
So you can talk.
it was about 6 months ago. It's been
Yeah.
like a 6 month journey of, I was on antidepressants and I didn't feel good anymore. Stuff started happening, like things that had never happened before I was on antidepressants to me. So I thought maybe it's a side effect or something else my body was doing.
So when you say feel, what does that mean? How did you
Feel?
Yeah. So it's a word, but give me a description of you were tired, you were lethargic, you didn't have any drive. You know what is that? How did your day go about?
Yeah, a lot of the things that, like you just said, like I was lethargic, I was tired, I couldn't go on a walk without passing out. I would fall asleep for 3 hours and then wonder why I just went on a walk and was so tired already when really I had just gotten up at like 10:30 and nothing had happened in my day so far. So I knew there was something wrong because I'd never been like that before. But again, I didn't think it was anything to do with the antidepressants at all. So I started cleaning up my food a lot. I started taking everything Dr. Anna has said on our lives and calls and everything that she has shared, especially with the things that we talk about too and you teach.
Yep.
Started adding that to see if adding that all into my routine and diet and daily stuff to see if whatever it was.
So what did you eat before this? What was your diet?
So I was clean, but not too, like, I wasn't all the way gluten-free.
Hold on, let me get on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lauren,
Lauren is a
Clean.
21-year-old definition
let me
of
tell you, clean as Chick-fil-A,
Yeah,
Wawa,
yeah,
not clean.
it's not.
So she
So
was
fast food.
Diet Coke,
Yeah.
fast food, and kind of, she has a good metabolism. She wasn't moving her body,
Yeah.
and the antidepressants were numbing her,
No,
basically.
yeah, for sure.
That's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
She
yeah.
was numbed, and her gut health wasn't good. Lauren would have a piece of sugar-free gum and have diarrhea.
Yeah.
So she had massive gut health, chronic inflammation. So 6 months ago, with Dr. Anna's help, we said, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like my wife Abby when we went through the stuff. It was like Lauren had tough days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we made a commitment to
Yeah.
each other that we're gonna do this. And we fought, and then we fought certain, not fight physically, but her own health.
Yeah.
And she'd have a great month, a tough week, a great month. And I remember I don't know, 2 months ago, she's in a rhythm, and she went back to her apartment, and she was kind of released from
I heard.
that,
Yeah.
and she's in a fast food, and she's eating fast food.
Yeah,
So,
clever.
but this is the cool thing. A month later, same scenario happened, but we taught her how to have her food with her. She was in a Burger King line, and she said, "I don't need this." She left the fast food line and ate her own
Yeah,
food.
that's
I
a girl.
did.
And now it was a tipping point.
Yeah.
And now she's gluten-free, dairy-free. She's vibrant. You can see it. She's
Yeah.
off her medication for a month. And
Yeah.
she is like the Lauren the magic. And that's all there was no, and I think this is a mistake we make. We think there's these defining moments.
Yeah.
It's just a decision you make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. And then you need a support system around you
Yeah.
to cheer you on and believe in you.
Yeah.
And then, but at the end of the day, you got to do the work.
Right.
And she did the work, and we
Yeah.
love you. Come on.
So that leads me into the 1%.
Yeah.
Right. So when you think about progress over perfection, how do you help people stay motivated when they feel like they're just not seeing the results fast enough? Right.
Yeah.
It's like I don't feel like I'm gaining any traction. I'm not really moving. What's that? What should they lean into to keep on that path?
Yeah, I think the first thing is a lot of times people, they have unrealistic expectations. So make sure you're willing. We always talk about actions and expectations. You can have these visions. Like Dr. Anna can say she's going to be a professional tennis player again, but her actions probably aren't going to hit those expectations. So you have to, right? So you got to reset those. So I would always say make sure you're realistic in what you want. And then I would also say it builds. There's a compound effect in everything. Consistency builds in that compound. I remember Lauren when she didn't want to walk. I remember we would take her to the beach and I would be working out and she would just be laying it in the sun. That was her moment. That was her 1%. And then I said, let's go. And she would walk a little bit. And then she would do a plank. And she started doing one plank, Now she's crushing Orange Theory
I love that.
4 times a week. So
Yeah.
Love Orange
I think the
Theory.
mistake is we think we have to go all in. We remember what we used to be
Right.
rather than where we are.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we feel like we should be doing this, she used to be a dancer, I should be doing this. No, the should never be anymore. Start where you are, understand, give yourself some grace, and start building 1%. And one day
What was
build
that
up the
movie
other.
with Bill Murray? Baby Steps?
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah,
Right?
that's
Baby
it.
Baby steps to the
Get
bathroom.
back over here.
Baby
Baby
steps
steps.
to the, yeah, you're back in.
Back in, Anna.
Come on.
Give
Hot
Lauren a
seat.
little love, huh, Lauren? Yes. Lauren, you made it like you're a live audience that she made the show.
There you go, yeah, she got
You made
brought
it
up.
big
She got
time.
brought
You
up
got
on
brought
stage.
up.
Okay.
It's a red shirt.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, red. Yeah, she we took her off.
Activated the red shirt right there.
Activated.
There we go.
Boom.
So we're talking about this quantum biology, right?
Okay.
And this is our cutting edge, but it's also really complex.
Yes.
How do you see this becoming more accessible to patients in their everyday life?
Well, first of all, the information has to get out. You know, this is one of those things that Big Pharma is not really going to be a big fan. They have actually offered to buy this company he refuses to pay for because he knows they're going to bury the technology.
Yeah.
They don't, it worries them. They are looking for a medication to do what these patches do without medication, like he's a threat to them. And so it's very difficult to get the information out. Right now, the way the company is structured, these are available online only.
Right.
Or
And how much are they?
well, let's get
Like
$60
$3.
check. It's $2 a
Yeah.
patch.
Zive is $44.95 for a month, and then this is 60 for 28 patches.
Yes, but if you become auto ship, they give you a little bit of a discount.
both things on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
This combo is amazing. The combination
Dude,
of those two.
that's my daughter.
Yep, right here.
Yep.
This is Lauren
So-
too. This is me
Yeah.
and you.
Yeah.
This is all of us.
That's all. I don't
All
even
of
want
us.
to tell you how many patches are on my body right now.
I have 3 patches on me.
Not
I have a
this.
boost of freedom, boost for energy, freedom for pain because I tweak my calf a little bit,
Same.
and ignite for calorie burning. And then Zive, I've taken 6 of these today for a little gut health magic.
Look at you.
Here we go. That's how I roll.
That's
And
look
of
at, I'm a
course, I have my
multi-touch.
water.
And I got my water. Anyway, so getting the word out is a big part of it. So there's going to be a media push on that. I am hoping that some of what I said today in a lecture will be sort of, I will make other videos, some for clientele, the general population, some for the people who sell these patches through their own little online businesses, and then some for physicians. Because in an ideal world, there will be sample packs, just a few patches, whatever your doctor will give to you. Like, listen, you're teetering on the brink of whatever, it's because you're not getting any sleep.
Yeah.
Here are 4 of these REMs. I want you to go home, take it before you go to sleep, and come back next week and tell me what's going on. And then if the patient likes it, they can follow the little QR code that they're going to put on the back, and boom, buy their own supplies, right? So there's no prescription that is required. But I think getting the information out there, number one, getting the information to physicians and have samples in their offices is going to be critical because doctors do refer patients. I mean, someone's sick, they go to their physician before they go looking up super patch and finding a rep. Like right now you have to find it almost by word of mouth. And so the goal would be that would be more in the public purview as opposed to...
But we had some big stars.
Yep.
that showed
we do.
up,
In the
right?
athletic world, it is wildfire.
Right?
The NFL, 80% of the NFL is using these victory patches. This one right here, right? My son's entire football and rugby team were on this patch, and they all thought that I was insane. And then they started seeing who else is wearing these patches. Like they started seeing the athletes, and all of a sudden,
Like high level.
oh
Yeah.
Professional.
high level
In
right?
all sports.
In
All sports.
in all sports. And it was interesting because, was it Jay? No. One of the speakers, listen to me, I'm such a southerner. One of the speakers today had mentioned that the head physician, the medical director in charge of USA Rugby, is doing a study using victory patches.
Yeah.
There's my son's rugby player in college. So, and I'm telling him, don't forget the victory. Don't forget the victory. Like, it means a
Those are in my
difference.
hockey bag.
What's that?
Those are in my hockey bag.
Yeah.
Look, it's...
I'm playing with 25-year-olds.
Yes.
Okay, so I need every...
You need
Every
an ambulance.
little-
You need an
every
ambulance at the
edge.
end of the day. Are you kidding me? So he and his buddies are all down with the victory, and it helps him keep from getting injured. You know, he can sense a tweak before it becomes an injury and like adjust his body in a way that he was never able to do when he was Clunky Matthews. So he saved himself. Like when 1,000 pounds of body want to fall on an exposed knee like that, it is helpful to have good recovery times and a little bit more torque and a little bit more reflex, because you can avoid a serious injury with some of this augmentation, so to speak. And it doesn't take much when you're a high-level athlete.
And some of the studies that we reviewed this afternoon,
Yeah.
was like, you know, like 11%,
Yeah.
17%. I mean, just, you know, it's this higher level of performance
Yes.
that when you talk about an Olympic athlete,
Holy smokes, yeah.
Massive.
because you have all the swimmers from around the
Yes.
world that are competing,
Yeah.
and it's crazy that they all come within
1/100th of a second,
1/100th
dude.
of a second. Like
Yep.
that the human body,
Yes.
these Olympic athletes have maxed out the human
Yes.
body. Hence the reason why no drugs,
No.
right? Approved
Yes.
by the Olympic
Yes.
Association,
Yeah.
right? And the fact is, and then also that's also the one thing about Zive 7, Mark, if you want to just talk about the process in steps, because I've lived the nutrition world. What did you have to do to get that certification? Because I think it's really
Yeah. So
critical to talk
the
about
great
that.
thing about super patches is it's drug free. So like it doesn't even have to be. It's FDA registered, but it doesn't have to be tested. Like Zive is an ingestible.
right.
So what we do, this is the challenge. This is a scary thing. Your neighbor, I'm looking at the camera right now. Like your neighbor can go make a supplement and sell it tomorrow.
Yep.
No regulation.
Nope.
FDA regulates pharmaceuticals. They do not regulate supplementation. So when someone says, is it FDA approved? It doesn't exist.
No.
The FDA doesn't mess with it. So that means you don't know what's on the label. So we did NSF Sport certified, which means that you can go to NSF certified, NSF Sport. You can look at the lot number on the bottom. This means that every Olympian, every athlete, anyone can take this. But more importantly, that every ingredient that's on the label has been tested and approved, and what's on the
And it's
label
in there.
is
It's
in
in
there.
there.
Right.
And I think that's the key. A lot of you might be saying, "Oh, I'm not an athlete." Well, guess what? You want to know what you're ingesting.
Yes.
You want to know, and this is what I had to learn in sports nutrition, that when I can work with someone who, let's say, want to lose the last 10 pounds, they're at their internal set point. They're sticky, like it's not
Yes.
easy.
Yeah.
Or you're working with a high level athlete. If you can help them transform their health, then it works for everybody
Oh,
else.
right. 100%.
That's the key. So you do want to be doing what Olympians are doing. You do want to be doing what professionals are doing, because it's the cleanest, safest nutrition out there. And you want to live a cutting edge life whenever you are. If you're a 45-year-old woman, if you're a 50-year-old man, if you're going through perimenopause, current menopause, postmenopause, if you're 21, you want the competitive advantage because you want to be your very best. And that's exactly what we bring to the table. That's what we're offering. Get educated, get empowered, start where you are, and live your best health.
So we talked about this wearable health tech. Where do you see the future, like with this wearable technology?
Well, in Anna's dream world, the future simply would be this. Your brain knows that you're sick before you exhibit any symptoms, right? If I did an EEG right now, I could say, you're an impending diabetic, you're an impending hypertensive, you are putting on weight and going the wrong direction. I mean, you would know that even though the patient has not yet experienced a symptom.
But they would see that a little bit of that blip. In
Yeah,
like
the
their lab,
EEG.
in their lab results,
their
right?
lab results.
Right? So
If you
it's like,
time it just right.
If you just you start, like, hey, I gotta watch it.
Right. The
Right.
thing is, end organ damage takes a very long time to occur. So that little bit of a blip seems, it's on the edge. That edge is arbitrarily chosen. We don't know if that's the actual edge or not. You might already be falling off that cliff, but I'm saying, oh, you're just teetering around the brink. So the longer you have a problem, the more likely it is you have an end organ damage, which means now it's not reversible. So the goal in as a physician, the goal for human health should be, does disease really need to exist, honestly? And it sounds like I'm talking myself out of a job, but am I really? Because someone's got to organize the whole concept of sitting down with the patient, throwing on, you can do an EEG, believe it or not, and see what the medical pathway is that's not working properly. And with the proper algorithm, AI, 3D printer, I don't know, print up a bunch of patches and say, listen, you need to wear these 3 patches 24 hours a day. I'll see you again in three months. Right? So it doesn't talk a doctor out of a job. It does mean the job changes a little bit, because instead of a prescription, now you're going to have a conversation, the EEG, and that sort of thing. Now, my job is never at risk, Rob. Because everyone's ass is always abused. Do you understand what I'm saying? But trauma exists, like, this is not going to patch up a hole in your aorta. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there are the surgeons are probably a safer variety of person because of trauma. But an internist might see this as a little bit of a threat. In the world of an internist, they have the control of the pen. They have the prescription power. This does not require a prescription. So now all of a sudden, wait a minute, how am I going to justify my salary to pay my student loans if anyone can have these patches? And then the diagnostic skill and coming up with a treatment regimen, that is the practice of medicine, and that is the role of the physician. It just looks different. Yeah. Before all these medicines came around, what were doctors doing? You're fat, stop smoking, you need to get more exercise, quit your bitching. That's what doctors did. Yeah. There were no medicines, right?
Yeah, the people that are going to lose their job are the big pharma admin people.
The admin all people, the stuff, all of that. The people who take the medical society and wrap red tape around
that just don't care.
Yeah, they're pencil pushers. Yeah. They're codes. Their job is to take what I did, then I have to input a bunch of stuff into a computer. And then another person, make sure that goes off to the insurance company. Person at the insurance company, the first thing they do is deny it. Then someone at my office has to resend it. And then someone at the insurance company will look into it. And so, all this back and forth is ridiculous. It quintuples the price of an office visit, because I've got to pay for 7 employees instead of 1. When I started my practice, I had 1 employee. I now have 7.
Yep.
I get paid 1/5 what I used to get paid when I first started my practice. And yet my overhead has gone triple, right? Quadruple. So that's the problem with healthcare as I see it, and it doesn't have to be that way. And I think this patch, and surely it's going to be this company that leads the way. There's no question. Will there be a copycat? I don't know, because no one really knows how this stuff is made. It's very top secret proprietary.
And we're going to bring in the top health pros to be part of. It's a whole revolution.
Yeah,
it's not just about one thing. It's about bringing in the best of the best that are tired of being controlled. Yeah. It's similar to what we see all the time. Like, to create change, you have to disrupt the environment, and we have enough juice now to do that.
Yeah.
And this is doing the podcast with you, my brother, right?
All right, so I want to get a little nosy, because I like to know what's going on in the future.
Okay.
What's bubbling under the surface that we haven't seen yet. What's happening? You guys are working on some products. Are you able to talk about
on other products? What are we doing?
Are you able to give some little trickles out there for people?
The most important trickle is this: that Dr. Anna's got her new nice wardrobe. And we're hitting every big national media, and we're doing all of the global events, and we're building culture and movement. There are some cool products on the works, but we're not sharing those right now.
Okay.
The key to share right now is make a decision about yourself, make a decision what you want to achieve, and then connect with the people that you trust to start transforming your health. You are your own nutrition boss. You are your own health boss.
Sure.
You determine your success. And when you lock arms with people like a Dr. Anna Toker and the other health pros we partner with, and my brother Robert right here, when you do that and you listen to these things, you can transform it. You can change generations, and you can be where Lauren is, where she was struggling. And there's always a way through. And that's, I think, the takeaway. Be part of the movement. Be part of the revolution, because it's coming.
Yeah.
I
think it's just about being, for us, it was always, what's next? I'm curious.
Yes.
I like science. I like, we understand the technology behind it. We might not know the code exactly,
Yeah.
but we know what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's the part. And the fact that Jay is reinvesting in,
Yes.
in more studies, more data.
Yeah, the scientific research aspect of it is what's so unique about that company, because he puts the same sort of R&D into it as a big pharmaceutical industry. I mean, you're talking about double and triple blinded placebo-controlled trials that are peer-reviewed and published in real journals, and name the over-the-counter product that falls into that category. Like, it's very hard. No one spends the time and money to do that because they're more interested in making money.
Right.
Whereas Super Patch Company, Jay Dollywall, basically is interested in making the world better. So he's got a different mission
Mindset.
to alleviate. Yeah, he wants to alleviate human suffering. And he does that through the mind-body connection pathway, physics, as opposed to the chemical pathway,
The
biochemistry.
neuroconnector.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then when we'll come back for some bigger announcements too.
I can't wait.
For things down the
I
pipeline.
can't wait. Dr. Toker,
Yes.
Mark, thank you for this incredible podcast on VNEW Voices. And of course, it's always inspiring. And I know that the audience is going to have this thing run off the charts for the number of views. And of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Zive 7,
And
Gut
Super
Health, and Super Patch.
Yeah. Thank you, Robert. We love you,
Thank
brother.
you.
We love you, man.
We'll be back.
Let's go.